Which sport do you enjoy following? Are you Premier League? Do you like any particular football team over any other? What about your rooting interests, Mark? Do you have one?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's funny you should say that. I am a very big Arsenal fan. Arsenal are, a Premier League soccer team. I was born in Islington in North London, which is where Highbury, the stadium, used to be. And I think when you grow up in the part of the world that I did, you had to make a choice about whether or not you were going to be involved with the football. And I've been a lifelong fan. I've been a season ticket holder for the last 20 years. And I'm not a rabid fan, but I follow their fortunes, and I have to say, if we win on a weekend, I feel pretty good, and if we lose, then I just need a day of being grumpy to get over it.
It makes sense. I totally understand the feeling. It's interesting, Mark, because I called an American football game, an NFL game, in New Tottenham Stadium. And the reason why I bring it up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the teams that came in and was told that the fact that Tampa Bay's red colors were all over Tottenham Stadium was to the delight of the Arsenal fans, that their colors were inside Tottenham Stadium. And I kind of got a kick out of that, Mark. Yeah,
well, Tottenham are the big Arsenal rivals. The Arsenal-Tottenham rivalry is a very big London rivalry that goes all the way back to the 30s, actually. Not a lot of people know where maybe that rivalry comes from, but basically it was because Arsenal were originally a South London team. They grew up, they were formed and were originally called Woolwich Arsenal, and they were based around the munitions workers who worked in South London. And Tottenham is an area in North London just kind of east of Highbury. And what happened in the 30s was the manager at the time managed to effect a move. So the stadium and the team and the fan base moved from South London up to North London, and Tottenham always felt that they were invading their territory. Unfortunately, that season, Tottenham went down. We stayed up, and I think we've been the most successful team ever since, much to the annoyance of the Tottenham fans. Although, having said that, the last few years, they've been doing really well. And now I think, now with our new manager, Arteta, we're running neck and neck with them again.
Well, I think you might enjoy this story too, Mark Strong, here on the Rich Eisen Show, is that the owner of Arsenal, your football club, is Stan Kroenke, who owns the Los Angeles Rams here in the National Football League. And I mentioned to members of the Rams organization how amazing the new Tottenham Stadium was and how the Rams should play a game there in the new Tottenham Stadium. And I was told essentially over his dead body that they will never do that because of Arsenal. That is what I was told.
Right. Stan and Josh own the team, and he's called Silent Stan. I don't think he gets involved that much with the team, but he has recently just, I think, enabled us to buy a player from Atletico Madrid who's come into our midfield that might be the answer to our problems this season. So I know that he's kind of, as silent as he may be, I think he's just behind the scenes been pulling some strings to enable us to maybe have a good season this season, because we've been struggling a bit the last few years. So our fingers are crossed for this season, and we're hoping to get back into the top 4, which gives us a Champions League place. And that's what we're aiming for this season.
I'll tell you what, I think we can both agree. Stan Kroenke's bank account is anything but silent. So I think that that is definitely speaks loudly. So clearly it has for you.
Yeah, he's not short of a few pennies, old Stan.
No, not at all. We're on the Peacock, NBC Sports on Peacock channel. Peacock here in the United States has a ton of Premier League action, so I'd love to get you back on when things begin to get cooking on that front. I'd love to chat with you on that.
I would love that. I mean, we're just at the beginning of our season, and we're having kind of a crazy season, I have to say. And I don't know if it's because of the lockdown and all of that, but suddenly a lot of the games are not going the way that they normally do, and we're having kind of loads of games in which there's huge goal scores, which doesn't normally happen. I always felt that perhaps in America, way back, 20, 30, 40 years ago, soccer wasn't popular because there were too many 1-0, 1-1 type score lines. Well, at the moment, we're having like 5-0, 6-1, 4-1. There's some great score lines going on, and something's happening this season. So it'd be great to get together and chat maybe towards the end to see what madness has happened.
I love it. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.